What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today I'm out here riding the new iNMOTION V12s. Now this is a awesome electric unicycle, and the whole kind of motto behind it is style and comfort. And it really is a stylish looking wheel. It's comfortable to ride. It's got full-on suspension in it, just like the Leopardkin wheels. The same brand suspension the Leopardkin wheels have, this uses, and it really does feel good. The top speed on this wheel right here is 43.5 miles per hour, and I've tested it getting it up to about 42, but just because I know the top speed on it's 43.5, I really haven't gone past about 42 on it. And it is a 84 volt wheel, but it rides honestly like a 100 volt wheel. It really does. I really don't even notice much that it is a 84 volt wheel. You see, I'm out here keeping up with the traffic, riding at about 40 miles an hour. That's the sweet spot. You know, I can ride at 41, 42. I didn't push it past 42, and I wasn't getting any warning beeps or anything like that. So it has Ride Connect, and I'll show you guys in a minute. It has a little 4G logo at the top of the screen on here, just like your phone has. So it has 4G in the wheel, and it has this thing called Ride Connect, which is anti-theft protection with a remote locking mechanism in it, so you can lock it out if it does get stolen. You can track it and get alerts if it does, you know, someone picks it up and this thing moves, you'll know that someone, you know, that it's in motion. So another thing I really do like about the wheel is the fact that it has speakers, and it does have the Soundwave that the old iNMOTION V12s and the V12 High Torque have. The Soundwave is not as loud on this wheel though. It is very dulled down to where it just you can barely really hear it. On the V12s and the V12 High Torque, the Soundwave was really loud and really aggressive. It sounded like a motorcycle, and that's just basically what the Soundwave is when you lean forward, it'll add a sound to it, just like an acceleration of a motorcycle, and it's just to give people a heads up around you, just so this thing's not completely silent. So if you're riding, the best place where I would use that at is like if I were to commute on like a bike path every day, like the Cherry Creek bike path in Denver. If I were to commute that every day, having like a little Soundwave on this wheel would be perfect, because it'll give people a heads up of where you're at, and then they're not going to be mad when you just come flying by them with no sound at all. It also has a group sync with the speakers on here, so if you're riding with other friends that have the V12s or the iNMOTION V9, there may be a few other iNMOTIONs, I'm not completely sure, but I know the V12s and the V9, if you're riding with other people that have these wheels with the latest technology in them, you can connect all the wheels together and the music will play in sync through all of the wheels. So it's like you have a massive Bluetooth speaker if you got like 3 or 4 people riding, which I think would be awesome. I don't know how well it would really work in theory, but it's pretty cool that you can do it, and I'm glad to see like more features like that coming in on the wheels. And I do like having the speakers. The speakers are good on here. They're probably the best electric unicycle speakers we've ever had, and I think they're far upgraded from what we used to have with the really just basic speakers on electric unicycles. These really do, it sounds good. It really does sound good. So this wheel is $2,399 right now from iNMOTION's website, and if you want to get a discount, which is a big discount, use the code CHOOCH, CHOOCH, all uppercase, and use that in the little discount code section before you check out at iNMOTION's website, and that'll save you $119 off of your purchase on the V12s right here. So that's a big savings. It really is. So definitely use that code. It's butter smooth. You see this, it rides like a 100 volt wheel. I'm riding this thing up a steep mountain, really on it. I mean, probably pushing it harder than I should for an 84 volt wheel, but it absolutely rips, and it feels really nice. It rides so smooth, and I've put a ton of miles on this wheel already. You see all the different places I've been riding it just for the review, and I've enjoyed it. I really have. I've just really been enjoying this wheel. So I think if you still order this wheel like relatively soon, you're gonna get that 10 amp charger, and now the 10 amp charger is beast mode. It comes with it's pretty big, man. The 10 amp charger that this thing comes with, I think they said the first 100 units, I think they're still sending them out with the early orders. I mean, it's still a pretty new wheel, so I think you can still have time to get it, but it really charges the wheel fast. I usually don't run this thing below about 30%, but whenever I plug that 10 amp charger in, I notice I'm recharged in about an hour 15 minutes or so. It's incredibly fast. So I definitely would try to get my hands on one of those. If you can't, the next best thing is just use 2 of the stock chargers. Plug in 2 of those, they're lighter weight to fit in the, like if you take 2 of those in a backpack, I think that would be even more lightweight than the big 10 amp charger, honestly. And you'd still be charging at about 6 amps. So that's probably what I'd do if you're trying to go on like some like long trips and stuff. I'd just throw in 2 of the stock chargers because you got 2 charge ports in the back. So the weight of this wheel is right there in that sweet spot. It's 77 pounds. It's not too light, it's not too heavy. I really don't get speed wobbles that badly on it. The few wobbles that I get, and the few little wobbles that like come on this are easily like correctable and almost like predictable. Like right there, that little like a little swiggly squaggle. I rarely get them, but when I do, they're like, it's not bad. It's really kind of predictable that it's gonna happen, or you just kind of like can control it. You know, this wheel has never really been in control of me, or like really wobbling really bad. Like I've seen some of the other reviews, and it's been like, damn, like it's kind of wobbling, you know, whenever they hit the brakes on it. I just think that you got to get used to it. You got to spend some time just getting used to any wheel, and the more time you spend getting used to it, you'll figure out like how you need to brake on it. And the braking assist definitely helps, man. Like I love that. I don't know why the other wheels don't have it. That's something really unique to InMotion, is that braking assist and that acceleration assist. So if you notice, I'm not like leaning as hard or braking as hard on this wheel, just because I set those to 100%, and it just makes it where you kind of glide around kind of effortlessly. So that's something I really do like. So when it comes to your jumping, you do have suspension adjustment on this wheel, and I'm riding it like I got it right out of the box right here. You have your rebound and your dampening, and you can go in on the top of there, these little rubber like little plugs. You just need a flathead screwdriver, just kind of pop them up, and just a medium-sized flathead screwdriver, and then you can adjust your rebound and your dampening right on the top of the wheel. So right out of the box, I think it's set up a little bit plush, and it's just, if you can really probably tighten this suspension up to get it dialed into where you like it. But out of the box, it is pretty plush, but it feels really good. It feels, you know, very unique, very comfortable to ride. Going down curbs, it just eats the little impact, you know, and it feels really just elegant to cruise around on. And the braking is really fast. Check this out. Whenever I come in to hit the brakes up here, this is what having the braking assist at 100% helps you do. You can just kind of come in, and as soon as you're like coming up to the stop sign, just kind of rip it back and then throw on the brakes. And that braking assist is no joke, dude. It really helps. So all of the lighting on this wheel looks really good. The RGB lights, you can turn those completely off if you want to, that little blue ring going around, or you can change it to whatever color you want to, whether it be red, green, blue. There's 256 colors you can change it to. And just the headlight looks good on this wheel. I kind of got it angled at the ground, but you can angle it up for your trail riding. The lighting looks really good and like futuristic on this wheel. And that InMotion logo, like it really is, that you see down there, it's almost like barely noticeable. It has to be kind of like pretty dark outside to see it, but it's there. And your headlight, you got those 3 headlight beams, those 3 high beams on the headlight, and it makes that like perfect like hexagon shape. You see that? And so the farther you shine it up, obviously the farther out it's going to shine that light. But the lighting on this wheel is really good. I do like the lighting. I like the RGB. It's not, you know, too much, too tacky. It just looks really good. It looks really futuristic when it comes to the lighting on this wheel. So stoked about this, man. I absolutely love both the V12 high torque, the V12 high speed that I got over here, and the V13. But really, the V12 high torque and the V12 high speed, I got tons of miles on both these wheels. So I'm really excited about the V12s right here. Right there. V12s. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh. Oh my gosh. That thing is sweet, dude. That is awesome. Look at that. That is awesome looking. Like 80s vibes of an electric unicycle, but like modern, like 80s vibes in a way. Got an adjustable headlight, and I've seen that there's like a projector. So this one's like a projector. It projects like the InMotion logo on the ground. It's got speakers built into it. It's got these nice spiked pedals. Champagne gold color on here. It looks really nice. It really does look good. About like these InMotion wheels, it's just fun to stack a lot of miles on them. Both of the V12s I have and the V13, they got a lot of miles on them just because they're really fun to ride. It's got the Fast A suspension, the same suspension that the Leprechaun wheels use in them. This is definitely one of the most technology-rich, feature-packed electric unicycles out there right now. It's got the suspension in it that everybody really likes, which is that Fast A suspension from the Leprechaun wheels. Give you all a little close-up look of everything. So this is the screen. Check it out. That's a huge screen on this thing. It's like the size of a phone. Going around looking at the pedals. Nice pedals on this thing. Very nice pedals. Champagne color on this looks really good. Ports, 2 charge ports in the back right there, so you can charge twice as fast. A USB-C port and a regular USB port to charge whatever devices you want to charge. A nice mud guard on here. This is your kickstand. Nice. Explore. Right here, you got kind of a flat spot right there in the middle for your street riding, and into the corners on some dirt. You got a little bit of tread right there. Let's turn it on. Okay. All you gotta do is scan the QR code on the screen. It pops up. Download the app. This has 4G in it, which is gonna allow you to track this thing and disable it if it were to get stolen. Okay, activate now. Boom, this thing's turned on. Look at that. Look at that display. Main owner. So this thing has 4G in the electric unicycle. So this is the most tech-rich electric unicycle out there right now. And you're going to be able to track this thing. If this thing were to get stolen, you're going to be able to not only track it, you're going to be able to disable this thing if somebody does take it. So they're not going to be able to use it. This is pretty cool, man. That's incredible. That's a huge screen on an electric unicycle. Like, that is crazy. Look at that. That is awesome. Great, man. If it rides as good as it looks, it's going to be a sweet machine. And the screen is super responsive, so you can set the max speed on here. Look at this. You can set where you want your speed alarm. You can set your pedal sensitivity right here. Light, everything is in here. So you go to light and sound, your volume of the machine here. You can turn the volume up. Oh, this one has a Soundwave on it. So this one, I think this one has the motor sound whenever you're accelerating on it, which is something I loved about the V12 high torque and the V12 high speed. Not a lot of people love it, but I really do like it. Sport or comfort mode, you got transport mode, power assist, acceleration feedback. So I always set my braking and acceleration to 100. All right, let's see. Oh, Hardy, dude, that's so crazy. So this one doesn't aggressively like snap into place like a lot of the electric unicycles do, you know? Let's see. I'm going to turn this thing off. So here's the power buttons on the front right here. Let's turn it off and then turn it on. And then we'll just bring it up slowly. Look at that. So you see a lot of electric unicycles, you really can't do that with them because it kind of, you bring it up and it just snaps into place kind of really aggressively. This one's really elegant. So they dialed this one in for the commuter out there, for the person that really wants the nice technology within an electric unicycle, that wants something that's really sleek, nice form factor, that is elegant to use, really refined, really nice, like an actual commuter machine to me. Let's see. Turn on the headlight. Look at that. So all your buttons are on the screen up here. The only button is the power button on the front of this thing, and then your spin kill button right here on your handle. And even then, like, look at that. You take the spin kill button and release it, and look at that, how it, like, see that? How it gracefully snaps back into place. When you turn it on, look at that. And then look at the suspension on this. So it's got the Fast A suspension on it. And it feels like, dude, it really does. It feels like the Lynx. It feels like the Lynx suspension on this. That's really nice. Oh man, this is awesome. Okay, so I just went and did a little lap. This thing feels amazing. I couldn't help myself. Turn your headlight on and off right here. It's super responsive display on this thing. Okay, yeah, I haven't set the password yet to lock it, but you can lock it right here if you want to. Once you set that up, you just put a password in there, just like your phone, and then you can lock the wheel. You can set your max speed all the way, speed where your speed alarm is, your pedal sensitivity, your light and sound, your volume right here, your Soundwave. This thing does have a Soundwave on it, which I really do like. It kind of sounds like a motorcycle when you're accelerating, and you could turn that on or off. It kind of gives people a heads up if you're riding on a bike trail or something, and you just want to be heard. And it's goofy. And I've even, whenever I raced at Apple Valley on the iNMOTION V12 high speed over there, I ran the Soundwave on it. Just, I don't know, just be kind of a pain in the ass to the other riders, because it just, you hear, and it literally makes a noise of like a car accelerating, or like a motorcycle accelerating. So that's the Soundwave on there. I really like it. It's a unique thing that I'm glad they put back on here. It's something that you're not going to use. Everybody's not going to use it, but it's awesome to have on there, because like, it's probably easy for them to implement, but if you wanted to do it yourself, it'd be really hard to do. So I'm glad that they offer that. And you can go in here, you get your max speed, your speed alarm, pedal sensitivity, light and sound, ambient lights on here. You can turn it on or off. That's the light that you see going around here. And then you got your mode. You can do comfort mode or sport mode. Sport mode is going to just be more aggressive, where all your little inputs, like when you lean forward, it's going to accelerate faster. When you lean back, it's going to brake quicker. Comfort mode is just going to be a little bit more plush, where you lean forward and that input's not going to be quite as aggressive. And when you brake, that input's not going to be quite as aggressive, from what I can tell. Sport mode, comfort mode, your acceleration feedback, and then your braking feedback. And I really like this. On most of my iNMOTION wheels, I always run both of them at 100%. And so it's just, when you lean forward, it's going to be a lot, it helps you. Instead of having to lean as hard, the acceleration feedback on here and the brake feedback that you can adjust, it just helps your input, where you don't have to lean as far forward or lean as far back to be able to accelerate and brake. And that's one thing I really do like about the iNMOTION wheels over really any other electric unicycle, because that's just a easy thing that they implemented that really makes the whole entire ride characteristics of the machine way better, because you just don't have to work as hard. You literally just lean forward a little bit and this thing takes off like a rocket. Lean back a little bit and your brakes come on. And that's one thing I really like about the V12s, or the V12 high speed, the V13, and the iNMOTION V12 high torque that you see right there. And that's one thing you can set on all those wheels. This display is super, super responsive. Got your battery percentage right here, your miles per hour, 0 miles, brand new. You got your time right here. Got your lights. The lights turn on the tail light and the headlight right here. Got your 4G. This thing shows that there's a 4G connectivity on the wheel. All right. So this thing is just so smooth. Like nothing about it's like, it feels like such a refined electric unicycle. One of the most futuristic EUCs I've ever really seen, honestly. And it does come with power pads. So for all the iNMOTION V12s's, they come with power pads. iNMOTION is going to send you these in a box, either with it or separately. I got these a day later than the actual wheel, and these power pads right here come with all the iNMOTION V12s's. See what they look like. These are the ones that it comes with. Check them out. So iNMOTION branded power pads right here. So we'll throw these things on there, and it comes with all the Velcro, the Velcro that's cut to the shape of the side of this wheel for it. So you're not gonna have to worry about that. So it does come with power pads, and it does come with Velcro to put the power pads on there. And it takes away from that beautiful champagne retro color on the side, but you got to get the power pads on there. It's the only way. Glad they do ship it with the pre-cut Velcro and the power pads, which is awesome. So you don't have to buy them. And they, from what I can tell, they look like pretty nice power pads. Right there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at that. So nice to see that pre-cut Velcro, man. That goes right on there clean. That looks clean, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, so see how that works? It's cool. Little connector goes between them like that. Cool. Oh yeah, look at that. So those are power pads it ships with. Cool. Well, at least it comes with nice power pads that are like decent. You know, you can't complain about these. You know, these are way better than a lot of other brands actually ship with. But if you want some like good aftermarket power pads, you can definitely get like the Grizzly pads or like the Clark pads or something like that as your aftermarket pads. Like I'll probably end up using these right here, these Grizzly flow pads on there. So I'll probably put these on there. You know, these are going to be way better than these. That's going to be the game changer. So kind of the same style, but these are going to be way better. If y'all want a discount code for the Grizzly flow pads, use code CHOOCH all together, CHOOCH Tech, all together, all lowercase, at grizzlypads.com, and you get a pair of the flow pads, which I'm probably going to be putting on there. But I want to at least try this thing out with the stock setup on there before I put the aftermarket Grizzly pads on there. But these are super nice. Oh yeah, oh yeah. These stock power pads actually feel good. Look at that. That didn't look. I mean, look at that. That's really not bad at all. So some final thoughts on the InMotion V12s. Now this wheel rides great, and if you are a fan of the InMotion V12 like I am, you're really going to like this wheel. It rides just like the InMotion V12 high torque or the InMotion V12 high speed, but it rides like those wheels with suspension. And something about these InMotion wheels, they are just a total blast to ride. I don't understand why, but I just have fun on them. They aren't the fastest wheels, they don't have the longest range, but they just are a ton of fun. And I think this is the perfect wheel for a lot of people out there looking for their first electric unicycle, or if they got, you know, if they've been riding for a little while and they just want the latest and greatest technology, something fun to cruise around on, and like the nicest looking electric unicycle out. This thing is also just really smooth. It just glides around effortlessly. You set that, you know, your power assist to 100, your braking assist to 100. You can just glide around on this wheel. It's so much fun. I did change the power pads out from the stock ones, put those Grizzly pads on there. That really helps you get locked in. If you can get those power pads locked in, not too aggressively, but get them, you know, locked in on your feet, it's going to make a big difference. Also, when you first get in your new electric unicycle, whether it be this one or any new wheel out there, the way I get used to them, because whenever I get a new wheel in to review, it's completely foreign. You know, you have to take a little bit of time to get used to that machine. The best way to do it, guys, I just took this one to an empty parking lot and just did figure eights, just went, you know, accelerate, brake on it, just actually spend time getting used to the wheel. And the best way to do that is in a parking lot, just deliberately taking turns, accelerating, stopping, you know, just deliberately practicing to get used to the wheel instead of just going out on your first ride like normal will make a huge difference for you. And I think a big reason to get the V12s over a lot of the other wheels out there, if you're kind of skeptical about these, is this one has a UL certification from Underwriters Laboratories, which is a third-party, you know, safety certifier of electronics, of appliances, and this is the second electric unicycle in the world to ever have that UL certification. So it's a safe wheel, it's a really smooth riding wheel, and it definitely has some speed to it. That 43.5, that's not slow. If you're interested in picking up the InMotion V12s, use code CHOOCH, all uppercase, at InMotionWorld.com. I really like the InMotion V12s, and I think you will too. If you guys enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up, and I will see you dudes in the next one. Peace.